Yo, what up? This your boy Young DRU, and I'm chilling with my boy Ruxo, and we always keeping it lit on Outlook Uncut, baby. Rest in peace to the Jack. I'm from the Bay, so I stay throwing T's for the Mac. Where you been, Young Drew? I've been running a trap. I took a 10-year break, now it's back to the rap. Vallejo, California runs deep in my blood. I represent the whole city, spreading peace and love. All these bitches wanna fuck cause they know I'm the plug. So I pull up, I pull up and roll up bud. Mac Dre forever, regime for life. I do it all and I ball for my kids and wife.
First of all, I definitely really appreciate you coming down tonight, man.
Bro, thank you for having us. Like I said, it's a pleasure just to be here in the presence of everybody and having the opportunity to do this. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, my man.
Man, it's all love to have a legend like you, an OG like you in the building, man. And so, man, you go way, way back. You got deep, Vallejo roots. And so we got a lot of younger people listening. So for those people who don't know about Young Drew, why don't you just give them a little bit of your background, man?
Well, my background is I'm like a gypsy. I've lived all over the Bay Area. Vallejo is definitely one of my homes that means the most to me. Definitely I love Vallejo, California. I spent a lot of my years here. I spent a lot of good times here. And I love the city of Vallejo, so I always love to come back and show love to my city. And I just started rapping just as a young kid, just like anybody else. Growing up listening, my first rap tape was probably, to be honest with you, was probably like a Run DMC and Beastie Boy. But my first tape full of game, my dad actually, he came home and what happened was he came home from he did a little bit of jail time. And he came home and he seen a lot of like New York rappers and LA rappers in my catalog. And he was like, well, since you're listening, he didn't really know. He's listening to rock and roll. So he's like, well, I really want you to listen to rock and roll, but since you're going to listen to this music, you need to listen to this music. And so he handed me a Born to Mac tape. And so ever since he handed me that Born to Mac tape, it was a white tape, bro. I didn't even have the cover, bro. He just handed me a cassette. Right. And ever since I had that Born to Mac tape, I was just turned out. I just wanted to rap. And so we would be at the at the elementary schools. It wasn't even really. I guess it's called battling, but it was more like just singing and capping on people and having fun and just having a good time. And then eventually, more and more artists started coming up out of Vallejo and the area, like the Mac Dre's and the E40s and the Click, and they just started to come up, and Mac Mall and everybody. So that's right. So I grew up on not only Vallejo rap, but all rap really, but Bay Area rap, Oakland rap, Frisco rap, and Vallejo was definitely a big part of me growing up. The music itself was a big part of it because at that time, that era was so different. We had so many like huge stars, like they weren't just local rappers, like E40 and Mac Dre and Mac Mall. Like Mac Mall, like literally was a global star. Like everybody knew who these artists were. Yeah. And so growing up, you wanted to be like that. You wanted to grow up to be that star. You wanted to be famous. You wanted to do that. So it was just so close. It was so local that it felt like it was obtainable. Right, so the dream seemed able to catch. You could catch that star. So I just kept going. I kept going with it, and eventually started putting out my own music. And but first, before that, I ran into a studio. I ran into the Young D Boys, and so I ran into them at a studio called A1. It was on Sonoma Boulevard, right by Spit Corner. And that was basically the first studio that I ever really recorded in, was the A1 studio. It was a Young D-Boy studio. So I went in there, I started recording my music with the Young D-Boys. They loved me, they embraced me. And that was really my beginning. That was my start in like recording real songs, was with the Young D-Boys from the South Side, from Suicide Vallejo. So that's where I started. And then I gradually started to go to different studios. I went to Johnny Z's studio. That's a legendary studio. Back to the Hotel, that's the Rompilation, all like real hits. Spice One, everybody been through there. So I started recording with Johnny Z, and once I got into Johnny Z's, the whole sound changed because Z had like a crazy sound that was hot for that moment. You know what I'm saying? It was like right on time. Yeah. So we started recording songs, and I started dropping little demos and things like that. And then me and him just said, well, why don't we just get a distribution deal and put out albums? So we put out a 707 compilation. We got everybody, the young cats. I put Ruxo on there. I put KOB on there. I put Indecent and Crypto on there. I put all the OGs like Be Legit, Mac Dre. Everybody was on there.
Yeah.
And then I dropped my solo record. It was all independent through Bayside. It was a distribution company at the time, and we did our thing. And then Johnny Z moved away, and so it was just basically on me to do my thing. So I just went to different studios and started doing all kind of different shit. And at that time, when Johnny Z moved away, I think it was about 2003. I was chilling with Miami the Most, and Mac Dre called, and he was like, do you got you got something? He was like, my boy got something. So we went over there and hollered at him. And he said, man, I heard you buzzing in the street. The streets are talking. I don't even think that was the word at the time, but just it meant that. You know what I mean? He was like, I heard that your name is popping in the streets. And I was like, yeah, I'm working on an album. I would love to get you on there. And, I've met Dre a few times before that, but it was never on that, on that hype. And he said, well, come to the studio tonight. So I went to the studio that night. And mind you, earlier this day, I'm selling CDs out the side of Rasputin's. We used to have a Rasputin's in Vallejo. So I'm like selling CDs for like $5. Just trying to survive at that time, you know what I'm saying, and doing my other thing. But at the end of the day, I'm talking about surviving in the music business, not surviving as a person. I was doing other things to survive as a person, so I had money, but to survive in the music industry, I was set outside of Rasputin's trying to get it to anybody I possibly could get it to for $5. I was even giving them free to people if they had like a car that would beat and everything that was gonna ride around and bump my music. So anyway, he said come to the studio that night. So me and my boy Devin the White Dude went to the studio with Kilo, Miami, and Mac Dre, and we made Mafioso. And then that was supposed to be for my album at first, because that was a Johnny Z beat that he gave me before he left. It was like a Godfather beat, and so I was getting Dre on my song, and then we left the studio that night, and I never went back to the studio to get that song. It was probably like a month later or something like that. I never came back to get the song, and I'm outside of Rasputin, and then a Mac Dre album comes out called Al Boo Boo. We're outside grinding. It was me. It was A to the K, and it was Indecent and Crypto, and it was and it was my boy K9. We were all outside of Rasputin's grinding CDs. You know what I'm saying? And Mac Dre CD came out called Al Boo Boo, and people were coming out saying I was trying to sell my CD.
Right.
And people were coming out saying, "Man, that's you on this Mac Dre CD." And I'm like, "What?" People would start playing it. Like I went in there, I see my name on there. I was juiced. I was like, "Oh, this is crazy!" Like that was, that like he just said, "This song is so hot. I'm gonna put it on my own. I'm gonna put it on my stuff, so let everybody hear it." Like you can put on your stuff, and whoever you selling outside of Rasputin's could listen to it for $5. But if I put this song on my stuff, everybody's gonna hear it. Everybody listen to Mac Dre, bro. You know what I mean? So that was just a crazy. So ever since then, that just kicked it off, bro. When that kicked it off, it was crazy. Like everywhere I went, people was loving the song. Like every neighborhood I went to in Vallejo, they heard the song. No matter what was going on in the street politics at the time between sides of town, people still listen to Mac Dre. So everybody heard it. Everybody was loving it. So that kind of boosted me up a little bit. And then I ran into Yuck Mouth at a show, and I rocked that show crazy. And we were backstage chopping it up. And me and him are Libras, so we both kind of just felt each other's vibe. And so I started going out to LA and messing with Yuck Mouth, and he was another one of my inspirations growing up. The Loonies, big inspiration. Mac Dre, The Click, Be Legit. Like I said, that like all this Bay Area rap was a big inspiration for me. So I started messing with Yuck, and then from I go back and forth to LA, and then he put me in the regime. I started doing some records for him, and he was putting them out on the regime when he was like really controversial at that time. He was really out there all over the blogs, everything. So I got a big buzz from that. And then after that, I made a deal with Miami and Kilo for a couple albums on Thiz, and it wasn't a long term deal. It was just a couple albums, and we put those out. And then I took a break, man. I took a break. I made a lot of money from it. You know what I'm saying? I made over $500,000 and never had no real promo or like nothing. Like, what I'm saying? I'm not all at one time, but you know what I'm saying? 150 here, 75 here, 50 here. I made a lot of money off the music. And without having any promo or any radio play or nothing like that, it just, I felt like I made it already. I had a lot of money. I didn't have to do a lot of things that a lot of other people had to do to make that money. It kind of, it came with the hustle. And And I felt like, I didn't need to rap anymore. I had money and I had other things going on that was going to continue the circulation of the money. So I felt like, this deserves more of my time, because at that time, that's when I noticed that my music started to slow down a little bit. As far as like shows were getting booked less, features were getting booked less, and less people were interested in my music at that time. When you know what I'm saying, for some certain reason, and I felt like when this money was slowing down, my other money was picking up on the other end. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of, like I'm a Libra, I weigh the scales. So I was on a scale, and it was balanced at first. I was making money both ways, but then when the music started slowing down and the other lifestyle started picking up, I was like, why would I waste my time on this when I could put full effort into this? So I got married, I had more kids, I had a son, and I was just focused on my family and getting money, and the music really wasn't making that type of money for me, so I really, I wasn't really tripping on it. But then, a couple, I say probably like August came, and I heard, I never had I wasn't eager to come back into the game at all. August came, and I heard Mr. Fab Still Feeling It. Right. And first I seen his album come out, and I was like, well, Fab got another album out, and Fab's always been doing stuff, but it was just different this time when he came out. You feel what I'm saying? It was like he was always doing stuff throughout that period I was gone, but for some reason, the Son of a Pimp 2 was different to me. Like, it felt different to me. When it came out, I got a feeling of inspiration. Right. You know what I'm saying? And this is before I even heard it. I just the cover came out, and I was like, it just inspired me a little bit. So I'm just vibing, and then all of a sudden, the Still Feeling It comes out. And it just brought back so many memories of that era that I came up in. If you came up in that era, listen to that Still Feeling It song and just listen to the whole vibe of it and watch the video. That's the era that I was coming up in. And
it's almost like, if this nigga's still doing it, then I can still be doing it.
Well, kind of. It was more like I love this man for doing it, because it's inspiring me to like love this music and this culture of Bay Area rap again. Because by no disrespect to any of the youngsters, I love your stuff, but it's just like when we were growing up, our parents would listen to rock and roll and soul and R&B, so they really didn't get this hip hop thing, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I love the youngsters, I love the way they rock, but nothing makes me feel like 90s Bay Area rap. That makes me feel great. Like, when I hear old songs, 3 Times Crazy, Keep It On The Real, that is a crazy hit. Like, there's just certain songs that make you feel wild. So anyway, so that song came out and the video came out, and it inspired me. So I called up the Slap Master, and I said, Slap, I want to get some studio time. I need all day, closed session. We're gonna start it from 11 to midnight, and we're just gonna work. We're just gonna lock in there and just work. So we got in there. First beat he made was I Got It. First song I recorded was I Got It. I recorded 4 songs that day, and I went to the studio with him a couple more times after that, and probably recorded a whole album in like 4 days. Just being in the studio. I already got like an album. So I don't want to put it out because I want to spread it out.
I only got the tip of the iceberg then.
Yeah, you only got the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
And I only got the tip of the iceberg because I'm going to tell you why. It's an album, but I'm going to continue to make more money because more music, more money too though. but I'm going to continue to make more music so I could basically drop multiple projects and all around the same time and give a lot of stuff for free. I don't even want to dime from these projects. I'm giving all these projects for free. You can hit my SoundCloud. You can download it. You can go to all these websites like this, Little Bay Area Compass, wherever you got to go to download it. Everything's for free. I don't want nothing because I'm doing this for the love. I'm doing this for fun. Like, I don't need the money. I'm not doing this for money. I'm hungry, but at the same time, I'm doing this for the fun, and not only for the fun for everybody to listen to my music, but I'm doing it
for the love of the music.
Straight up.
And that's it. Whether you're getting paid or not, you still gonna want to do it.
Well, don't get it twisted. I want the bag. If you're gonna hand me the bag, I'll take the bag. But what I'm trying to say is, I want everybody to get my music for free.
Right.
I don't want to charge anybody to get my music. I want to put it on all the stream sites, and of course they're gonna send me a streaming check. But I want everybody to be able to download it off YouTube or wherever they got to download it and just have my music and just listen to my music and just feel what I'm making. Like, I don't care. I don't want somebody not to hear my music because they don't have that type of financial situation where they can just spend money on somebody's rap CD. They can't spend money on the rap CD. They're trying to buy diapers for their child. They got a car note to pay. They got a car insurance to pay. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't rich. Everybody ain't got money like that to buy a record. And if they did, they're going to probably buy views from the 6. Because he's in your face. He's popping. And that's all respect to him. That's what everybody's programmed to do. They're programmed to buy whatever's in your face, and it's hot. So why not buy that type of stuff? But what I'm saying is, why are they going to pass up everything that's in their face all day long on the radio, on TV, on commercials, on the internet to buy my record? And I don't want nobody to be neglected, so I'm giving it to them for free. I want them to just have it. Just have my music. Just listen to it. You know, give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care about the money. I just want people to listen to my music. Like I said, I'm having fun. I love everybody in this room right now because everybody's rocking with me. And everybody out there that's listening and tuning in. And even if the people ain't tuning in now, when they tune in later on YouTube or they tune in on your Facebook, Ozcat Radio, baby, I appreciate the opportunity to come here. And I don't want to keep rambling. I'm just, you asked me about the start, and I kept going from the start. And I can't go to the end because the end ain't here yet. I'm not ready for the end. But we went from the start, and that ain't in full detail. That's just quick because we're on the radio. Exactly. If I had time to really do like an audio book, or some sort of like, if there was like some sort of invention that could like turn my eyes into a camera and I could just play back my life, it's crazy. It would be a many movie, bro. Like, it'd be a trilogy of like hella movies. It'd be hella movies. I had hella stories. But right now, it's all about Ozcat Radio. It's all about Young Drew. It's all about DJ Flashback. It's all about Ruxo. It's all about Jules. It's all about Singular. And everybody up in this room right now, and everybody that's in that next room right now, and everybody that's listening, I love you. God bless you. Everybody have a safe night. And thank you for tuning in. Young DRU, fire music, baby.
All right. You heard the word right there from the man, Young Drew in the building, man. Thank you so much for coming down tonight.
Thank you,
man.
Bro.
It was definitely an honor to really have you come down, man. To have a living legend in the building. You've seen it all. You've been through it all. You still doing it. You back now, man. You on the grind. And your new music is so dope, man.
Thank you, bro.
I can't wait for the new album to drop, man. Young Drew 2017.
You're gonna be the first one to get it.
Man, I can't wait, man. We're gonna have to get you back down here.
For sure.
I love what you're doing behind the microphone, man. I'm gonna have to make you my co-host. I don't even know.
Man, right on, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta put Ruxo in the mix too. We gotta put that seasoning salt because he got the words that are going over everybody's head.
Yeah.
Even sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, man, did he really just say that? Or what did he just say? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me rewind that thing and try to, because I grew up with him, so I know a majority of the things he's saying. I could translate it, but he's making up some new things, and I'm like, man, this is some crazy stuff right here. I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. And I want to give a special shout out to Ruxo too. You know what I'm saying? And you as well. I love you guys' show. I love everything. Shout out to the camera crew. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in here. My little brother Jules, his boy Sneaks. They all came in from Santa Rosa. And Singular also came in from Santa Rosa with her crew. And,
that's right.
And for those that are sleeping on or just don't know about it, man, listen to Singular. She's real dope. She's a female artist that I came across through the Slapmaster. And she's just really dope to me. I like her music, and I think she's really dope. Julian is my little brother, and I'm going to help him out. And put his record out, and actually we're gonna mold him first and mold the record, make the record really really hot first, and then I'm gonna drop that for free too, because I want people to hear his music as well. And of course Ruxo, it's what I was saying, he's always part of the team, no matter if it's been Fortune Over Fame or Untamed Nillas or whatever it was. I mean, we were Money Motivated Music, the Flame Spitter Entertainment, now it's Fire Music. Everything that I do, he's always going to be a part of because that's my boy. I grew up with him on the 6th block, the 6 and the 4. So, right around the corner from Spit Corner and the Bourbon House. That's why we were just the heart of everything. But, yeah, one love to everybody in Vallejo, California, 707, and everybody else tuning in. Ozcat Radio, baby.
Who got it? Drew got it. And if you hit him on the hip, he'll make sure that you got it. I got the packs of fire. If you're looking for that flame, I'm the main supplier. I got it. Turkey bag empire. Got that level up tree, bitch. Ain't none higher. I got it. I got the best in town. Ask around, I don't sell nothing less than a pound. I got it. I got the packs allowed. And I still got the skills that'll rock the crowd. Second verse, I'ma say free Miami the most. I'm throwing up the west side cause I'm repping the coast.